Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome to a brand new video here on Kyle FtW 2. In this video, we are starting a brand new series called Unpopular Opinions. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about all of my opinions when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies that may be a little bit unpopular and maybe a little bit controversial. This will be a controversial series, but it should be a lot of fun, and I would definitely like to hear what you guys think in the comment section below about this and some of your opinions. And if you want to put any of your opinions about Call of Duty Zombies in the comment section below, I would be really interested in listening to those as well. But today, the unpopular opinion that we're going to be talking about is the Voyage of Despair Easter egg boss fight. In my personal opinion, this is the greatest boss fight ever created in Call of Duty Zombies history. It is better than the DE boss fight, it is better than the Grod Krovi boss fight, it is better than all boss fights in Call of Duty Zombies history. It's better than the Elephant in 9, which could potentially be another video I cover. But this boss fight is absolutely amazing, and we're going to talk about what this boss fight is, how it works, and why I think it's the greatest. So let's go ahead and jump into how this boss fight works. Of course, you have to complete the entire Easter egg on the map Voyage of Despair, which is in its own a frown. I mean, most people who want to do the Voyage of Despair Easter egg hate it, and I will admit that it is a little bit tedious, but it's not that bad in my personal opinion. I mean, yes, you have to go a long way and you have to run all across the boat, you have to shoot planets down and all this stuff, but in all honesty, it's probably not the worst Easter egg ever. In my opinion, the worst Easter egg is probably Blood of the Dead, but that I digress. It's a completely different video. But anyways, how this works is you have to go through the whole Easter egg, which is hard in its own, but once you get to this boss fight, it is absolutely insane. So it is a five stage boss fight. So the first step of this boss fight is you have to fight on the poop deck, just killing zombies, blight fathers, and chokers. And once you finish that step, once you finish that and you have killed everything, you will move on to the next step, which is in the engine room. And it is pretty much the same thing, except there's these little ice tornadoes that make the zombies harder, and this gets a little bit more intense because you have to, the zombies take a little bit more damage to kill, and then you have to also be aware of blight fathers, and you have to be aware of chokers, as well as you have to worry about being in a very constricted, tight area with no escape unless you die. Then we also have the staterooms. Then the third step is the staterooms, which is where you have to begin damaging the eye, and this is probably the hardest part in my personal opinion. Actually, probably the second hardest part, because you have to be in this really confined space in the staterooms part of the boat, and you have to damage the eye, the giant eyeball, and you have to take him out without going down. Obviously, I'll have homunculuses in the gameplay, and I'm throwing those, trying to make sure I don't die. And it's an absolutely intense boss fight. And then when you get to the fourth stage, this is in my opinion, the second hardest stage, or the third hardest stage, which is the starboard area of the boat, when you have to put more damage into the boss. But the thing that makes this part so hard is that you also have ice tornadoes, and it's a very tight area. It may even be tighter than the engine room, and it's a very sketchy area. You have to be so careful. I actually managed to go into Dying Wish at that area because it was so difficult. And then the final area is you get to the poop deck again, and you have to finally kill him. And the hardest part about this part in general is that if you're not careful, you will die, because there's this feature into the game where the eye will go into its certain stage, and if you don't damage it or kill it in that certain time frame, the game will end and you'll instantly die. And it's really intense and really fun. So now that we have talked about what the boss fight is like, let's go ahead and talk about why I love it so much. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. So the reason I love this boss fight so much is that it is the only multi-stage boss fight that we have ever seen in Call of Duty Zombies, and it throws you in a wide variety of areas. It takes a ton of skill to complete, and it is just extremely rewarding. Yes, it's very difficult. In the gameplay you're watching, I actually ended up dying because it is so difficult, but that's what I really like about it. DE is a very difficult boss fight as well, and also super rewarding, but for me, Voyage of Despair has just an insane boss fight that is so intense, so awesome, and it's difficult, which is why I really like it. If if they just had a very easy boss fight like Blood of the Dead, or I can't really think of any other map that has a really easy boss fight, or like Zetsubo, it kind of degrades from the boss fight, because the boss fight is sort of like that final intense reward for completing the Easter egg, and I absolutely love this boss fight. It is so much fun. I may not be a super big fan of Voyage of Despair or the Easter egg that gets you to this boss fight, but overall the boss fight is absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love it, and that is my opinion of the Voyage of Despair boss fight, which is obviously a very unpopular opinion, but I've also heard that a lot of people do like this boss fight, so let me know down below in the comment section what you think of this. But in my opinion, it is the best boss fight of all time. I was going to say it's one of the best, but I think it actually is the best boss fight of all time. So anyway guys, that is going to do it for the very first episode of the best, or of Unpopular Opinions #1. I will have another one every single Friday talking about an unpopular opinion in zombies. I think the next one is going to be Die Rise, and we'll talk about that when that video comes out. But anyway guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, make sure to check out all my other previous zombie videos here on the channel. And I'll see you guys all in another Call of Duty Zombies video very, very soon.